Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We've got a new StreamYard account, so we can't do the epic intro because we've not uploaded it to this account yet. But yeah, assalamu alaikum everybody, and assalamu alaikum to the fellow hosts Sharif and Jake. How you both doing?
Alhamdulillah, good man. What about yourself? How's things been?
Alhamdulillah, not too bad, not too bad. Just getting on with a bit of work and doing some stuff. Got a bit of private time. Mrs. and the little one have had to go to the doctors for jabs. So alhamdulillah, just chilling.
Alhamdulillah, man.
How about you guys?
Yeah, good, man. I thought, it'd be good to come on the stream. Obviously to thank the brothers who've been watching, the brothers like yourselves, the brothers in the background, the admin guys who've been helping out, courageously. Because alhamdulillah, man, we've reached 1,000 subs. Can you believe that?
Alhamdulillah, very quickly as well. We're only on what is it? This Sunday's episode 6, isn't it?
That's right. So it's only been five episodes, hasn't it? So yeah. This is a brilliant thing that I think we thought we might be able to do quite well with this, inshallah.
Yeah, we've got a good little team going
but I think the issue is that you always think, well, is it going to go really well? Is it not? Are people going to like it? Or is it just going to fizzle out type of thing? So alhamdulillah, I think it's good for us because it's good motivation that people are interested in it and carry on with doing this. So yeah, that's really my thoughts. Just to say jazakumullah khairan to the brothers involved and also to the audience.
And I would like to echo that as well. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Like we said, it's only been 2 months now. Alhamdulillah, we've hit that. The next target, I think, is the 4,000 hours of watch time mark. And then we'll get access to the community page, which means we can start posting things on that timeline. Inshallah, that should be hopefully hit. We hope on the next episode, which will be looking at the stage 2 arguments of the kalam. So basically, we've gone from arguing for a necessary being, and then on this Sunday coming up, we're going to start to go from arguing that this necessary being is God. And so I'm looking forward to that one as well, because this whole process, I'm learning a lot from engaging with you guys, and the streams are really fun. So yeah, jazakallah khair to everyone getting involved. I just thought we'd do a little quick stream here. Brother Jake is with us, so inshallah we'll let him say a couple of words. We did try to get Abdulrahman on, but he's currently on his way to getting a COVID test, so please keep him in your du'as. May Allah grant him shifa.
Ameen.
And watch over him and his family and grant them success in both worlds. So, Brother Jake, so I know you're I know you're working at the moment, which is why your camera's not on. And but yeah, is there anything you wanted to say? Have you got the ability and the time to at the moment?
Yeah. I mean, I just want to reiterate what you guys have already said. Appreciate everybody involved in the show who's responsible for we know who's involved. Appreciate all you guys. And special shout out, of course, to the listeners. Really appreciate you guys watching and subscribing to the channel. 1,000, we reached it pretty quickly within a couple months. So it's a pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good achievement. Alhamdulillah. And yeah, just subscribe while you can. Try to get into the next 1,000 subscribers before we reach 2,000.
Inshallah. And as well, I also wanted to make a special thank you to Brother Criterion, who's been running all the aesthetics, and he's been working hard to kind of do clips and things and upload the the short segments of the longer conversations we've had. And he's doing a lot of work for us in the background. So you might not be too aware of him, but if you go onto the TAP Twitter, his account is on there, so do give him a follow as well, and just keep an eye out on the things he posts, because he's a great brother and he posts some beneficial things. So obviously show thanks for him as well, and keep him in your dua. And also there's a few brothers that run in the background. So we've got Brother Mustasin and Brother Kalim, who run social media and do a bit of the admin work in the background as well. So may Allah bless them both too. So just kind of moving forward, we wanted to obviously thank you, but also to just engage with you for a little minute. We're not going to be on the stream for too long. I think we want to try and limit it to maybe about 30 minutes at most. So if there is anything that you would like us to kind of cover in future episodes or any feedback, obviously this is going to be the opportunity to sort of engage with us. If you want to, obviously if you're in the live, you can just say it in the live chat now, but if you're watching this after the live chat has concluded, feel free to just add this feedback or add your comments or add your requests and things like that for future episodes in the comment section, and inshallah we will endeavor to go through them. We might not necessarily have time to reply to every one of them, but we will be reading them, and I think we're going to set up like a little spreadsheet or something and start filling that up with all the potential ideas for future conversations. So let's have a look at who's in the chat. So assalamu alaikum Hayyan, hope you're well. Wa alaikum salam Princess Rashida, inshallah you are doing great, alhamdulillah. Billy and Burns, wa alaikum salam, mashallah. And it's about to start in a minute. Yeah, sorry, we were a little bit late. We had a hectic beginning because we didn't have an admin, and so we were all logging on, trying to get it going. But for some reason, none of us had admin access, so I had to log into the email account and then give myself access and log out on my old account for the Pondering Soul one. So it was a bit of messing about trying to get us all in because we were just sat all like guests and no one could do anything about it. Wa alaikum salam Riyad. Let's see. So how has everyone found the podcast so far? Which ones were your favorite? Great question. So everyone watching now, so there's 25 people currently on the live chat, and obviously whoever's going to watch this after the fact as well. So we've done 5 episodes so far. Should we do a little recap on what we've done? So the first one one was an
introduction, wasn't it?
Yeah, general discussion about what our aims were and things. Yeah. I might just pull it up, save using my memory, which is terrible.
Yeah, the second one was on necessary being, the evidence for a necessary being, evidence in essence for a creator, for God. The third one was on the logical problem of the Trinity. Yeah,
does the Trinity make sense? Number 4, is it rational to believe in miracles?
Is it irrational to believe in miracles? Yeah.
And then number 5 was, is consciousness a miracle?
Yeah. So which one was your favorite anyway?
Mine?
Yeah, I know you weren't on. Sadly, you weren't for the last one that we had, wasn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was a bit tied up with a few things. But you did have a great replacement with Brother Hamza.
Well, you know what it is, we were scraping at the bottom of the barrel because you weren't there. So Hamza's always, Hamza's always hassling us, saying, "Oh, I want to come on for adventure. I want to come on," and we're like, "Okay, then we've got a gap." Yeah, no, only joking. Alhamdulillah, Hamza's a great person. We actually wanted to specifically on that show, isn't it, Yusuf? I think we were chatting about that, and
well, his background in academia is that very topic, so it was alhamdulillah, a real blessing to have him on for that particular subject. I think the only feedback I've already voiced this to you guys, but I think we should have just focused on talking to him in that episode. I don't think it was as beneficial as it could have been, having to engage with like however many people we had to in the end. There seemed to be a bit of confusion. There was a few guests that were coming on, and there was a bit too much time spent with them, and they seemed to have not really understood the problem at hand or what it was that was being discussed, unfortunately. And
but Yusuf, if we didn't invite guests on, callers to call in when Hamza was on, we would have had a riot. Because many people wanted to speak.
Yeah, I understand that. And I wouldn't have suggested not having a call-in session at all. I think personally, and I don't know, maybe you guys can let us know whether you agree with my particular contention here. But I think that whole episode would have been much better, just kind of even just engaging with Hamza on the subject. Him having been someone who studied it in depth and writing a thesis on it. It would have been much better just to kind of, because at one point he even made reference to a few issues that he was anticipating would come up in the calling, and they never came up, unfortunately. And they were really crucial points. I think would have been really beneficial to cover.
Yeah,
And
I think
so
we're gonna
time on him.
yeah, I think we're gonna try and get Hamza back on to do a part 2 where we actually go into eliminative theory, reductionism, to look at some of the responses that materialists have with regards to the hard problem of consciousness. So I think, inshallah, maybe in the upcoming streams, we'll probably try and get him back on.
Inshallah.
Obviously, Hamza's very hard to get. He's very busy. He's got a lot of other things.
He's running a lot of things. He's doing the Sapiens Institute. He's trying to organise a million things with that, and then all the other projects he's got going on.
So which one was your favourite one then, Yusuf?
Mine was probably the last one. I really enjoyed, because the topic of consciousness is one that's always really, really intrigued me. So like just the whole discussion on that is pretty much endless. The whole the hard problem of consciousness. Like how do we even try to comprehend this? I was watching a really funny live stream, or not live stream, like a science festival podcast thing that was going on, and they were talking about quantum physics of biology, and they were going through it, and eventually they get to this subject of life, of consciousness, and they're like, "Ooh, we don't like talking about that." And at one point they even made the quote, "Life is almost like magic for the physicist." Like it really blows their mind, and and it's funny because obviously this was. I think most of them, or all of them, were disbelievers. So they didn't believe in God. And there was a few digs at religion throughout that podcast as well. So it was quite telling. But then, like, when it comes to talking about life, so long as there's no theist around to kind of engage with them on it, it seems like they're very happy to just kind of refer to the sort of quote unquote miraculous nature of life. And, it's the mystery behind it, how it's still a complete mystery to us. We don't really know much about it, referring to it with words like magic, all of this, and not facetiously, not they you can see that they're quite sincere in their comments when they're talking about it. But then when you sort of engage in apologetics with regards to this and try to talk about it in reference to a creator or the source of all of life having life itself, and this being a really good explanation for this, and obviously removing a lot of the issues tied to it as well. It's interesting because at that point they start to kind of move down this sort of materialist, reductionist process. Whereas when they're sort of engaging in and of itself, there's no mention to just reducing consciousness to the material world in and of itself, or trying to overcome these problems. But yeah, for me that was probably my favorite one. And I was a bit
Jake, what was your favorite one? Was it? I reckon yours was probably the irrationality of miracles.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, the Trinity.
Was
it
Trinity. That's his thing, isn't it? I would have said that.
Yeah, I would be too biased to say that. So I'll say the miracle stream. I really did enjoy that. And it's been something that comes up quite frequently in our discussions, even offline. So I felt it was really important to address, because I think theists and atheists alike have a misconception of that. So I think we did a good job of explaining that to the audience and trying to clear that up.
Yeah, I think we've got Brother Hayan Sheikh is, I think, in agreement with the miracles one being an absolute banger, in his words. And we had one on my generation agreeing with me there. How about you, Sharif? What was your favorite one?
I like the consciousness one, actually, because I think obviously we're experimenting, when we're doing these podcasts, seeing what works, what doesn't work. So I think what we sort of said at the end of that, after that show, is we said maybe we should spend more time in the introduction explaining the topic before we invite callers on. Yeah. So rather than just having like a 15-20 minute, quick brief overview of the topic area, maybe go in a bit more depth and then invite callers on to either ask questions or maybe have some sort of pushback about what we're saying. Having a discussion that way. So I like that, because I think we got into a bit more depth. We covered a lot of ground on that topic, even though there's more discussions to have on that.
Well, we were talking about maybe extending it to doing, rather than just once every fortnight, trying to do a weekly thing. So I wouldn't say we should get rid of the call-in thing completely. But I think we should introduce maybe some sort of interview format as well, where we bring guests on and we just spend time talking to them and maybe give 20 minutes at the end as a Q&A rather than referring to it as like an extended introduction. Look at the whole focus of like a particular stream being on having a conversation with someone that's read up on the matter, be that non-Muslims as well. So engaging with, inshallah, we can get some people on that study these particular areas, and we can maybe push them to elaborate on their position and sort of have a back and forth in a friendly manner, not in like a debate format or anything like that, but just for a case of learning and gaining knowledge on the particular area. Just want to give a quick shout out to Brother Ijaz from Calling Christians. He's been not feeling too well recently, so if everyone can just keep him in your du'as as well, may Allah grant him shifa and patience, make it easy for him. And good to have you here as well, bro. Sorry, skipping a bit here. Where were we? So we got wa alaikum salam. Nice to have you all here. Mashallah, we're on 36 people. 1K is criminal. Should be at least 10K. Who are you arresting? Who do we hold responsible? Inshallah, we'll get there soon. May it grow. And be beneficial. So we've got. That's a question. Consciousness podcast was awesome. Yeah, I think we're going to have a unanimous sort of poll for the consciousness one, I think, because we were blessed with Brother Hamza's. Ooh, whose hairstyle are we talking? Brother Sharif.
You know what? It's been about 3.5 months now since I've been able to get a haircut. So
it's funny as well because you mentioned that at the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't want to come on. I said to the brother, I said, "You guys do it, man. Don't worry." He goes, "No, you need to come on." And then I was like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna have to comb my hair now because it's all all over the place." So yeah, so I had to quickly sort of get ready. Even then, I'm still a bit, Although I've noticed yours, Yusuf.
Mine came off.
What happened? Did you have a fight with a lawnmower or something?
So, well, my beard's already a bit patchy, so the hair just doesn't grow here.
Right.
Anyway, but I was just trying to trim it because my hair gets really annoying there. And funnily enough, I was watching a stream. Brother Fareed was talking about, like, I straighten my beard. I was like, you can straighten the beard. That's a good idea because mine's madly curly. So I was like, and I bought a heated comb for like a tenner or something. And I was trying it, and it was doing really good at straightening the long part, but here it doesn't grow that long, and it's super curly and wouldn't straighten. So I had this really ugly-looking, super straight beard here, and then annoying hair here that I couldn't straighten. So I was like, I'll trim this off, and then I trimmed that off, but I couldn't fade it properly. So I just had like really, really like next to no hair on the sides here because it was annoying, and then it was just long. So no like gradual gradient. Okay. And I did a live stream before Sapiens Institute, and then like there was so many comments on there like, what's going on with the beard, bro? So, what to do? So I was trying to fix it, but then I just ruined it in the end, and I was like, oh no, my beard's gone. So I just had to sort of shave it off. Inshallah, I'm gonna let it grow back. But yeah, it wasn't intentional. I like my beard. But wa alaikum salam. Let's see what else is going on here. I'm trying to get through these. Yusuf looks 5 years younger with the shaved beard. It's the baby face. You want to see me with no stubble on whatsoever. If there is things we can do to support or help, let us know. The biggest thing you can do is engage with the channel. So like all the videos, everyone, if you like them, obviously. If you don't like them, dislike it. Engagement is engagement. We don't mind it either way. Share it. So share it on your social media, Facebook, Twitter, wherever else you're on. Don't know what all the cool kids do these days. So share it. And also comment. Leave lots of comments. Engage with people in the chat, even if it's not just with us. If you see another comment, you find it interesting, have a response with them. And this helps push our videos out in the YouTube algorithm. If they see that people are engaging by leaving comments and engaging with other comments and liking and sharing, and not only that, watching it all, that is the biggest help. So if you basically the statistics or the analytics behind the whole thing are recorded. And so if you jump in and then jump off within a minute, that looks bad on the analytics. It looks like, oh, this is crap. They're not watching it and they're getting off. So I know it can be hard if you're busy and things like that, but try and watch it all. And if you can watch it all, that obviously boosts. So that's another way of supporting us. And then
we're also got the podcast now, haven't we? We were uploading our live recorded.
Yes. So audio only. I think we're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts. I think. What else were we on?
Is it the Apple one as well?
I think we're getting on Apple now too. So, yeah.
Inshallah.
Yeah,
although there seems to be a bit of a resistance in the group chat about Apple. I think it's probably one of the more important ones as well. So inshallah, we're going to be on there as well. So if you like your podcasts, check us out on there. I think on podcasts you give ratings as well. So if you can on any of them particular formats, give us 5 stars. That's another way of supporting us. And then, for the time being, that's it. We kind of getting to the point where monetization becomes possible, but I think we were discussing we're going to try and leave adverts off and things like that. But super chats might at some point become a possibility, although we're still in discussion about what to do with that if we were to get that at all. But that's not an option at the moment, and it's something we need to sort of have a proper discussion about in a bit more detail. But yeah, so those are the best ways. Like, comment, share, watch the whole video, give 5 stars and subscribe on the podcast platforms, and just engage, big us up, talk to us, talk about us to your friends and family. Word of mouth is usually a great way as well. Oh, have you heard of this new sick podcast, the Tap podcast? That's another great way. Any other suggestions or?
No, I think that's the main thing, really.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just sharing it with on your social media and with your friends and family.
Following us as well. So I think we've got Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. That was the other thing we wanted to say.
Yeah.
So follow us on there, retweet our posts, like them, engage with us on all the social medias.
And give us feedback. What types of shows you want us to do as well? That'd be
great.
Yeah. This is the thing I was thinking about. Maybe the audience, either now live or in the comments section, can tell us something that they really enjoy about the podcast that they'd like to see more of. And then also something maybe they don't like that they would like to see less of. Give us some, positive and negative feedback that we could take into account. So
and don't be shy with the negative feedback either, because some brothers, they can be very polite. And even though there's something niggling them at the back of their head, they won't say it. Don't worry, we won't be like writing your name down and like, all right, you gave us some bad feedback there. We'll start ignoring his comments. It's not going to be anything like that. We do appreciate it, because if there is something that is niggling you or annoying you about the way we're doing things, it's very likely that it's possibly niggling or annoying other people as well. And if it's a genuine criticism, it's something we could improve on. And inshallah, that would make the podcast better. So, these things are important. So don't shy away from that. Wa alaikum salam, Maz and Jobaz. Let's have a look. Let's try and skip down. Wa alaikum salam, Muhammad Hadib. Nothing wrong with the logo. Really enjoying the discussions on here. Alhamdulillah. Hello, James is tired.
Oh, it's James. So
James is tired.
Friend. Jake's Christian friend. Well, he's our Christian friend. But yeah, James is a person that we speak to often. He's a good guy, man. He's a nice guy.
I'll guide you to Islam, James.
He's very, what's the word?
Staunchly Christian.
Yeah.
Is the word I think you're looking for.
Wallahu alam, man. Allah knows best.
Keep it up. May Allah grant you all success in the dunya and akhirah and accept all your efforts on his path. Ameen. And for all of you as well. This is not live. It is live. It is. I'm just trying to get through the comments. I want to see debates with the EA show Justin about God free will if possible. Oh, that might be an interesting one.
Yeah, we should do a show at some point on determinism and that kind of stuff. So
Should we,
yeah.
How do you feel about debates? where like I could be a good little middleman. I think I'd be like, go.
Yeah, I think debates with I think it depends, isn't it? I mean, Justin's a good guy, man. Actually, just so that you guys are aware, and some of the audience members, because I know obviously Justin comes on a lot of our shows. He's moved away from materialism, believe it or not. He now no longer believes in materialism. He's a dualist.
Alhamdulillah.
And that was after our discussions around consciousness, because he started to see the in-principle problem of consciousness being grounded on materialism. So he said, well, he's still investigating things further, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, so steps in the right direction are always good steps. Yeah. Happy Funky Thursday. Is every Thursday funky, or is it just this particular Thursday that's a funky one? MashaAllah, we've got brother Hussein Fahmi. MashaAllah, Mabruk on your first milestone. May it grow to 1 million soon, inshallah. So I think that is a very far away milestone. But may Allah keep us steadfast on that path. Wa alaikum salam. I hope you talk more about divine simplicity and basically how to solve the problem of God change. So with regards to divine simplicity, do check out the Muslim Metaphysician's channel, Jake's. He recently did a video on divine simplicity, which was quite extensive on the matter. Obviously, there's probably a million more things that can always be said on these particular subjects. But I think if you're looking for like an introductory guide into the issues at hand, that's probably a good place to start. And inshallah, maybe we can even kind of delve into that a bit more on a future stream as well. Actually, is anyone taking notes? Do we have someone writing these down?
So I'll go through them again.
Okay, inshallah.
Yeah, don't.
Consciousness for sure. So yeah, we
the best
should
show.
Be going. Yeah, definitely. We'll go into that in more depth because I think we could probably do a whole series on consciousness. Oh no, that's what Princess is saying. That's her favorite one. Wa alaikum salam, Bosnian Muslim. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Got a match here, haven't I? What topics will you expand to? Maybe social, political philosophy. Ooh, that might be good. What do we feel? Do we think we'll delve into politics, or is that going to be too controversial? Is that going to?
No, I think we can. I think, from my perspective, I think it's a case of two things, isn't it? One, the confidence and the comfortableness in terms of being able to address the topic, and the second thing would be. Second thing is just to address as much as we possibly can, but obviously based upon what we can do, isn't it? In terms of, we don't want to blag it in terms of these topic areas. But yeah, definitely, inshallah. I think we are probably going to think about some like discussions around liberalism as well. So I think some brothers have mentioned that as well. And maybe we can get some special guests as well on that particular topic. Yeah,
inshallah. We'll try and reach out to some of the other brother du'a that deal with this quite a lot. So that might be an interesting thing to delve into. So he's noticed here, mine beard is decreasing, yours is increasing. So the story that I gave you before is just a cover-up.
Inverse proportional.
Actually stealing my beard.
Yeah, it's like the inverse proportional law of gravity, isn't it? As distance increase, square of the distance increases, the force decreases. But anyway,
the tap panel is underrated. It's any chance to get some atheist philosophers on the podcast? Yeah, I think we can do. Brother, who was it was mentioning it? Someone mentioned that I think Justin or someone is getting like loads of cool guests on there, like not even cool per se, but just like some quite big names at least on his podcast. So they seem to be willing to engage, I guess. What do you reckon? Get some of the big wigs. Should we invite Dawkins on? see if he'll join us.
No,
funny story though. Funny story. I won't mention names. But there's a couple of the du'a. Apparently Dawkins attacked him. They went there and they challenged him
physically.
They got a bruise and had to drop charges. Kind of attack.
Really? I was joking. I thought you meant attack as in criticized him on Twitter.
No. Like I thought that when they said it.
How we were attacked by Dawkins.
Like literally, physically attacked by Dawkins.
They were walking in dark alley and suddenly Dawkins appears.
With a belly on, like, oh yeah, Muzzies started bopping him. No, it was he was doing a show or something, and what happened? So they confronted him during his show, but it was just like it was supposed to be a chill thing where he was talking about his life and that, and then they pulled him up on something to do with the comments that he'd made about Muslims and comparing Islam to Nazis and this, that, and the other. And so they pulled him up on that. And one of the brothers was talking to him. The other brother just had a camera around his neck, and I think he was either recording it or like he didn't realize he was recording. And then Dawkins has lunged at him and then tried to grab hold of the camera, and there's been a tuffle. And this brother's ended up just pushing Dawkins. Dawkins has gone flying 10 mile. And then they had to do one because the security were coming for them, even though Dawkins was attacked him. And then the police got in touch with him, and he dropped the charges in the end. But yeah, so Dawkins is he's a bit of a brute. Swings his weight about. So don't mess about with that guy. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see if we can get him on and question him about his aggressive behavior towards Muslims. But yeah, we'll look into it. Consciousness was hard hitting points. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I think that's going to be the overall favorite. All podcasts were beneficial. Alhamdulillah. That's
a hard problem. Business.
Molpas Oppi comes to mind. Yeah, he was one of them as well. He was willing to jump onto Justin's show, wasn't he? And I think, brother Jake, you had an engagement with him, didn't you?
Yeah.
So do you think it might be worth trying to get him on and expanding maybe on the topic you spoke to him about? And I think that might be good.
I mean, if he's interested, I don't know if he's I kind of made his knees buckle last time we spoke, so I don't know if he's willing to come back.
Well, we'll just hide you. We'll hide you. You'll be like that mystery guest that comes on.
No. He was cool. It was cool, but yeah, maybe he'd be willing to come on. I mean, I've got connections much more, as you guys know, with the sort of Christian philosophical community more so than the atheists. But yeah, we'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, inshallah, we can get it. I'm trying to find. There's a meme that came to mind. Which one is it now? There's like a wrestler and he's got a big smile on his face. Here it is. 1 second. Full screen it. How do you full screen it? Open. There we go. Yeah, so this is the one. And so what we could do.
I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up now. Relax. Calm down. Share screen. Yeah, this is the one. So forget the writing, but the man at the back could be Jake, and then
Graham Moffey.
Oh man, that's funny.
Sort of very funny. But yeah, let's go through these comments a bit more. Sorry, I'm being a bit slow with trying to get through. So Jasmine has said, could you guys make the podcast more diverse and have female representatives or their voices to listen? It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, obviously the circle that we sort of interact with are mainly brothers, isn't it? So it is a bit difficult to know, for sisters who are well equipped and understand this particular area, because we are friends, we know each other, we discuss with each other every single day. We know in terms of how we think, isn't it, and how we can handle certain discussions. But certainly if the sister recommends anybody, knows anybody that that would be good for a particular show, then yeah, inshallah, it might be a good idea.
Milhan Philosophy recently took her Shahada as well, and she's a philosophy buff as well. Like her whole channel focuses on that. I've seen her reading Heidegger, she's pretty deep into it. So she might be an interesting person to get into. I guess the issue here is as well is there's not many sisters that sort of engage in this kind of thing. The brothers seem to be like readily available, even like on all levels. They just kind of jump into it in the deep end. But it's it's very rare that you find a sister that's sort of studying philosophy or any of these kind of things. But we will keep our eyes open for it. Like I say, we're just a sort of a circle of brothers, and we don't generally tend to
interact with females.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from our own like family members.
Yeah, and it feels a bit inappropriate to sort of message them and stuff like that. But with particular characters, like for example, Milhan, she's already got a pretty big YouTube platform, and like I say, she's already kind of into philosophy, and she's recently taken her Shahada, so she's probably going to be a perfect sort of candidate for this type of thing. So yeah, no, Jazakallah khair for that suggestion. I will take note of that, and we'll see if we can get in touch with her and if she's willing to jump on and have a chat with us. I've learned more from your podcast than I have from any other podcast. Alhamdulillah. That's a good start. Do you plan on doing a round 2 for every topic you've covered so far? Not every topic. I think if it's required, if the topic, you can go into it in a bit more details, because it's the nature of philosophy, and there's layers. You can sort of go through them a bit. But yeah, definitely with regards to the one like consciousness and things like that. What do you reckon, guys? Jake, Sharif?
Yeah, I mean, we could always readdress certain topics. Right now we've only done 5 episodes, right? So we still have so many things to address, probably before we go over some of the things. But yeah, I mean, eventually we can redress certain things.
Yeah, same thing. I was going to say is that sometimes you'll see the same types of arguments, same types of core concepts or core contentions, but there's multiple ways to address it. So I think it would be. I think the nature of these types of discourses is that you are going to redress or address different topic areas. So I think, inshallah, we will be probably talking about some of these topics a number of times.
Yeah, pretty much everything branches out like a tree as well, doesn't it? And so in one podcast, you end up going down a particular branch, which takes you to certain branches, and then inevitably cuts off many other branches that you could have traversed. And so sometimes you've got to take that back step, go back to the beginning of a particular premise or a certain part of a discussion, and then you can start branch off from there and see where that takes you as well. So the nature of this kind of discussion as well sort of leaves us open to be able to do that. So that definitely be interesting to do. Will you ever bring Majesty of Reason or Elephant Philosophy?
Who are they, by the way?
I have no idea.
I know who they are. So one, Majesty of Reason is he's an agnostic. He's studying philosophy, I think, at Purdue University. And the other guy, Elephant Philosophy, is a Christian YouTuber also. I'm not as familiar with Elephant Philosophy, but Majesty of Reason, I've engaged with him on Facebook a few times. So yeah, I'm sure he'd probably come on. It's just I'm not sure what you guys would like us to speak to him about with. So maybe whoever commented, Max, is there a particular topic you'd like to address with him, or what, you had something in mind? I don't know.
Yeah, because I think I'm just looking here. I think I've probably seen a couple of Elephant Philosophy's videos on the Kalam, I think.
People keep trying to tell me to debate this guy.
Is he Christian?
Yeah, on the Trinity or something like that. But I've gone through his videos, and he doesn't really have much specifically on Christianity. He's got a few stuff, but not really much related to the Trinity. So I don't think that's really
kind of thing.
Yeah, just general philosophy of religion. So I don't think that's really his area as much. But yeah,
it might be it might be building up to it or something. But we can. Yeah, that's another good suggestion. Jazakallah khair for offering that. We can keep that in mind, and maybe if, like Brother Jake said there, if you've got any particular suggestions about what you'd like us to speak to them about, do let us know. Let's have a look. Joe Schmidt, is that a suggestion? Is that
that's
channel?
The same guy. He's the host of Majesty of Reason.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, he's an agnostic, but he has on his channel.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's got on his channel. He hosts discussions between academics, usually both theists and atheists, and he's pretty fair. He tries to be pretty fair.
Mm.
Yeah. He also
need
had
more mods.
interesting. He had a devil's advocate debate with a Christian, where the Christian took the atheist side, and Joe took the theist side and tried to argue for God. So that was pretty interesting.
Randy Houser, I think it was, he debated, or Randall Houser.
Randall Houser. Yep. Yeah.
So I'm going to make a couple of people that I'm familiar with mods, because that's probably a good shout there. We'll just I'll add one more. I'm just finding random people here. We've got our brother Abdulrahman is not a mod. What's going on here? He's in the chat. We'll probably make do with that at the moment.
Does he deserve that status, though? I mean, come on.
Abdulrahman. I know he's sold us out for COVID.
Yeah, I mean, we reached 1K and he's not here. He's busy dealing with COVID. But it's all right. We'll forgive him.
Inshallah. Elephant philosophy versus Jake on divine simplicity.
To be honest, though, on that particular topic, if you're going to debate a Christian, I wouldn't debate him on divine simplicity. I would debate him on Trinity. I'd have that, or not debate, but have that discussion. I think it's more an important discussion.
I don't even know his position about divine simplicity, so I don't know if he even has a video on it. But Trinity would probably be something much better.
Let's have a look. Hamza is overrated, and he pushes the fitra concept as a foundation for believing God. No, I wouldn't say he pushes it without recourse to logic and reason. The fitra is a fundamental part to it, but I think you can use logic and reason to guide you even to the concept of fitra and to understanding its importance. I think the issue is that everyone has to make leaps of faith at some point. So whether you're atheist or a theist or anything in general, when you're moving through reasoning, you get to points where reason can only take you so far, and then the leap of faith is required in certain respects. And I guess people who don't really recognize that maybe see this as just a recourse to accepting things without logic and reason. That's not the case. I would say your leaps should be guided by reason still. But there's just limits to what you can know, and with absolute certainty in certain regards. And I would say Hamza's probably more in line with that. I wouldn't say he'd argue that you should completely neglect the idea of logic and reason when it comes to discussing the idea of God.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Does anyone else want to add anything to that, or?
No, I think we're probably going to do a show about fitra anyway, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
In the future, and about things like properly basic beliefs, things like that.
Yeah, we could probably get Jamie on for that as well. He's really good. He's part of Sapiens Institute as well, and he's done articles specifically on this. So we can get him on and kind of delve into that. Apparently, EP, I guess that's Elephant Philosophy, rejects divine simplicity.
Okay, so why would I debate?
Yeah,
I mean, we can shake
very
hands.
short argument. Yeah,
shake hands,
high five each other. We're like, yeah.
But Trinity would be better, I think, honestly.
My favorite episode was the one with Yusuf, Sharif, and Jake. What about Abdulrahman?
Abdulrahman.
He's got turned up for one show, and we.
I think the thing is with Abdulrahman, he's criminally underrated.
He is
when he discusses. So I think because he's not as public profile as others, people probably don't realize.
We need to increase his exposure, because I'm learning a lot from him as well, and may Allah bless him and increase him.
And he's got a very, I don't want to praise the brother. Hopefully he's not watching. But
Abdulrahman, if you're listening now, earmuffs.
He's got a very nice, calm style in the way he discusses, and he's able to insightfully break things down in terms of the other person's position. So, alhamdulillah, he is underrated.
May Allah bless and increase him. I mean, I believe he made a video on modal collapse. I'm guessing that's elephant philosophy again.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
then he wouldn't accept divine simplicity then.
yeah. So that wouldn't really be much of a debate. More of
No.
a virtual high-fiving of one another. Let's have a look. I think this is all Salaam alaikum, so our brother Ijaz. So we got here Max Payne says, I can't believe how good arguments, kalam and contingency are. When one listens to Elephant Philosophy and Majesty of Reason, one gets the idea how compelling those arguments are. Unfortunately, Muslims haven't done anything.
Well, the kalam cosmological argument was, kalam should be
the Arabic word. It's a big clue.
The Arabic word, yeah. So
no, maybe he's to kind of clear out what
he
means. I think he means maybe the modern Muslim.
in the modern sense, and I think obviously that's starting to change now. But obviously I was involved in talking. Well, I'm not involved, but I remember many years ago, Muslims rarely talked about these types of topics, and 20 years plus, and now, alhamdulillah, it's becoming a lot more acceptable to discuss reason, rationality, arguments for the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala using reason and rationality. And part of the reason why this is the case is because obviously Muslims are now facing a lot more challenges in terms of criticism and critique to their beliefs. So it's pushed a lot of Muslims to learn these arguments as a way to respond. Maybe 20 plus years ago, the discussion amongst Muslims was more internally focused. He was already in acceptance of Islam, and if there was a discussion with non-Muslims, it was primarily with Christians who already accepted belief in God. But obviously with the rise of atheism now, there's a lot more push now to understand these arguments and explain them.
And it's definitely offering motivation. Inshallah, we're hoping we can fill part of this void as well. So keep us in your dua, and may we take a step in that direction. Evolution would be a good topic, and we could even ask Brother Sabor to jump on with regards to that, as that obviously is his main area of focus. And I think there's another brother, Shoaib, who does the FEIISP streams. I think he's wrote a book on that. So it might be even good to reach out to him. So Jazakallah khair for these suggestions, because when you say them, there's certain brothers that pop into mind. When you say wa alaikum salam, next step 10k inshallah. I'm trying to right, I've lost where the comments are that I was up to. The StreamYard is a bit glitchy sometimes. It just jumps you straight to the bottom of the chat, and then you've got to scroll through and struggle to find where you were. Right, I think there were so many comments that it's cut me off. So this is the latest one. There we go. Need more. James is tired on. That's another suggestion. Well, suggestions in terms of topics, James. We'll see what we can debate with you about. Assalamu alaikum, bros and sis. I think your podcasting is awesome. Alhamdulillah. I would like to see the panel talk to the EA show Justin about God free will. He looks very confident on talking about that. Even made a challenge about God free will debate. Yeah, that might be.
Well, I think he raised the issue of the omniscience paradox. So I think we're going to do a show about that anyway.
Yeah,
and we can invite him on.
Yeah, inshallah. So here we have got the Spotify link. So do check that out and subscribe if you're one of the young cool kids that uses that particular platform. It's a very foreign thing for me. I've never really been on there. And you, bro, or sister. I mean, wa alaikum salam. Is Brother Yusuf Ponders? Is it Brother Yusuf Ponders' other channel? So this isn't my channel. It's ours. So basically, we're a team of brothers who talk a lot offline. And then I don't know who it was that came up with the idea or suggested it, but I was just invited, so it's not even. I'm by no means the lead of it. Whose idea was it? Who came up with this?
I think it was more collaborative, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Sharif and myself. Were really just talking about it.
Yeah, it was a very good idea.
And we wanted to get Yusuf on board because we like Yusuf.
Yeah.
I've got
Well, we got him on for the beard, and then now he's kind of disappointed.
I'm gonna have to
take over now, man.
We'll get some mighty beards on. Discussion with justice is enough. He's open-minded. This free will topic is huge.
It seems to really be. Is this the same person that keeps commenting? Seems to really be bothering him. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll address it at some point.
I think there's two problems with regards to free will. The first problem is a problem for materialists. So there's problems in terms of that. And then the second problem is, this idea that God is all-knowing, all-powerful. How do we therefore have free will? So there is that. And then obviously a subset of that is an omniscience paradox as well. So
yeah.
But there are two separate. See, what sometimes atheists do is when you address the problem of free will from a materialistic point of view, they say, yeah, but you've got this problem of free will as well. But hold on, there's two different problems. And therefore, there's, yours doesn't have a solution, even a possible one, whereas we do. Yeah. But obviously, we'll have to talk about that more in more detail.
Yeah, definitely. Inshallah. And we've got here, those normal discussions are better than debates. Discussions such as the one between Craig and Malpass. Such discussions I personally find better than debates.
I agree as well. Yeah.
I guess it depends on the person as well. I think debates are required when there's too much tension between the interlocutors. Insofar as the interlocutors can be relaxed and engage, well with each other, it's fine. It's when it starts getting a bit heated and then people end up talking over each other and things like that. It's at that point, I think, a debate format becomes necessary where you've got someone who regulates the discussion. Each person has a set amount of time. They've got the ability to sort of prep and, bring forward particular arguments and research that they've done. So debates definitely have their use in particular context. But I do agree I much prefer discussions. But then, not everyone is capable of having discussions, unfortunately. And even the best of us, you put us with a particular kind of individual, it's very easy to lose patience and sort of move away from the good-natured atmosphere that you get in these nice conversations. So,
yeah, I agree with you.
Did anyone else have anything to say on that? Or
no. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thought Adventure Podcast. So far, your podcast guests are decent. Hopefully, it stays this way for a while until trolls discover this channel eventually.
I think we had one troll the other day, isn't it? The last one, Adam.
Yeah. He won't be on anymore.
Yeah, I don't mean to be critical of the guy, but he was literally on SC Dawah, another channel, claiming to be a Jew. And then he came on to us when he got kicked off that one, claiming to be a Muslim. So it's a bit odd.
He throws me off a bit because I always considered him to be somewhat sincere, and I guess I assumed the reason he came with different names and things like that was because he just wanted to engage on the subject, and thought that maybe if he didn't identify as X, Y, or Z, that he'd just get kicked off. But yeah, I don't know. And then there was a moment where it seemed like he went a bit too far in one stream, but I'm not 100% it was him. But I'm pretty confident it was. And then I tried messaging him about it, and he didn't respond to me. So I don't know what exactly is going on. He's sort of this chaotic character, isn't he, mate?
Maybe he's just looking for attention, inshallah. Maybe, as in looking for attention, and inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him, isn't it?
I mean. No live stream until Justin is Muslim. Are we protesting?
I think, you can't really force anyone to. Obviously, we all know you can't force anyone to become Muslim, but you have to look at people's circumstances, environments. It's not a simple situation. Obviously, Yusuf and Jake, who are, can give their own personal experiences coming from a non-Muslim background, can explain it better. But, so don't expect these miracles, or not miracles, but don't expect people to go undergo these radical changes.
Yeah, and you may be surprised, but you've just got to kind of temper your expectations. It's not always the case. There's many a time where even people really are convinced of it, but then other social conditions, conditions in the sense that the fears of what people will say, or like how it can be quite a radical change in lifestyle, and there is a lot of anxiety about how that might be sort of perceived by the people you have around you in your life, your social circles.
And it's not just Justin. We don't want to pick on him or anything. My experience in more and more of doing dawah is that a lot of times once you get down to it, it's not really an intellectual problem. It's something else that's going on, whether it be emotional or personal life circumstances, things like that. Because I see that many times when you remove the intellectual impediments, the person still many times doesn't become Muslim. There's other stuff usually that's going on. So
yeah, which I think as well is probably one of the motivating reasons why some of the more seasoned du'a end up just kind of focusing on the concepts of the fitrah and the issues surrounding that. Because like you say there, it does feel like sometimes a lot of it's just like a clouded fitrah issue, and trying to overcome that in some way. So yeah, it's interesting. Allahu alam, Allahu alam. May Allah guide us all. Blazing Heat said here, perhaps you can have brothers from other dawah channels come on every week. So we did.
I want to get Hamza. I want to get, what is it, Hamza from Hamza Den on.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Get him to shout at people.
We should. I'm going to be speaking to him this evening, inshallah, so I can mention it to him. But I think the issue with this as well, we don't want to kind of have a crowded panel. I think the benefit of what we've been doing is that we try to sort of keep it to around 4 on the panel maximum, and even that I think is still quite a lot. But I think we make a good little team, so it'd be a shame to sort of reduce it any further than that. 4 is probably the sweet spot. I think when you start getting to 5, 6, 7, 8,
it's too many.
It gets a bit silly, and then you've got your guests coming on as well. On top of that, and the screen ends up with too many things on there. Many people don't end up having the opportunity to speak, and it just sort of becomes a battle of the will. Who can assert themselves and their voice more often. So
and we don't want that,
Yeah, exactly. And it's not even out of bad nature either. It's sort of out of a consequence of having too many people on a panel. It's a sort of necessary.
Yeah, and the other problem is that we had that issue last time, is that when you have 10 people in the chat, including the panelists, nobody can call in and wait. 10 is the maximum. So if you already have, say, 6, 7, 8 panelists, there's only 2, 3 spots for people to be waiting to get on the show. So that becomes a bit of a problem also.
Which version of StreamYard do we have, and does it increase? Because when we were doing it on mine, I've got like a special offer one, so I've not got the full package.
We did it on your one.
Yeah, so but that's what I'm saying. So maybe there was a limit there. What package have we got now?
We've got the basic one.
So, but is there a different limit in terms of the guests on that one?
I don't know. You would have to check.
Yeah, so that's something we'll look into, because obviously that affects it as well. But personally, I think we should try and keep it to around 4 on the panel, and then maybe, obviously, if we're going to try and extend it to a weekly thing at some point, myself, I'm going to try and stick to just once every 2 weeks. When I am free and I've got a bit more time, I can maybe jump onto the extra streams. But that extra week we can maybe try to fill out with inviting guests on. And obviously, if I'm not about, then that would keep the panel to the 4 limit.
Yeah,
which would be pretty good. Because obviously, I think that was one of the main things we emphasized when we began this, was just not having it overcrowded.
Yeah, and people got to understand that the other brothers, mashallah, they're doing a lot of streams on their own, so they're pretty busy.
Yeah,
It's we don't want to overwhelm anybody else, and
we will definitely invite them though, and try to get them involved. But obviously, depends on schedules and things like that.
Yeah.
If you host someone like Jay Dyer to debate Jake, I think that would be interesting. Jake, have you tried reaching out to him for a debate on?
Yeah, I've spoken to Jay directly. He is in the process of studying up for a debate with Sheikh Asrar Rashid.
He had a conversation recently, didn't he?
Yeah, on his channel, and they're supposed to have a debate. Jay, they're just waiting on Jay, I think, to study up on Islamic theology first. So yeah, maybe eventually that will happen. Inshallah. But yeah, he's got a lot going on, and he's preparing for that debate. So
yeah, he's a big channel as well. So I can imagine he's got a lot of people trying to engage.
Maybe at some point after that. I mean, he's expressed to me that he would like to debate me. So maybe it'll happen, inshallah, at some point.
Yeah, I don't think it's the case that Jake's been trying to contact Jay. Jay's actually been trying to contact Jay. But I think the issue is that Jay Dyer is not a proper theologian. He's just a YouTuber. He sort of like mirrors some of the atheist YouTubers that you come across. Very brash out there in the way he approaches.
Well, to be fair, we're just YouTubers as well. I don't know.
No, I think Sharif is really talking about approach to the discussions and the way that one speaks to the person that they're either discussing with or debating with. Yeah. But he had a nice discussion with Sheikh Asrar. So I don't know. I think there maybe start to notice another approach might be better.
Because I have seen a few of his conversations that have been pretty good, and they weren't that too bad, to be honest.
I think it depends on who he's talking to. Like what you were saying earlier, Yusuf, is that if it's somebody that he's already got issues with, it's not going to be really a good conversation.
Yeah, he's blown up a few times on YouTube.
Yeah, so
insulting, things like that.
Yeah, that's one of them, isn't it? I think it's sort of we underestimate how hard YouTube personalities can sort of have it in terms of constant exposure to countless people. And
you're right. It is difficult. Yeah.
It sort of becomes expected that you're going to have a sort of blow up at some point, because sometimes it can be sort of a never-ending circle of just you've got the same people saying the same crap sometimes. And
you might get upset and annoyed with the comments, but when you're invited on a person's show or you invite people on your show, and then you have a big storm of an argument, you've invited the person to debate. It comes across slightly inappropriate. But anyway, I think obviously Jake, it would be great if it can be done, and and Jake can remain respectful. That it would be a great discussion to have.
Like I said, we'll see how it goes with Jay and the Sheikh. If it goes well.
I am looking forward to that as well.
Yeah. I mean, based on that, that'll give us an idea of what to do moving forward.
Right. Is that the same link we've shared? Oh, yeah. So listen to the podcast on Spotify. Wa alaikum salam. Artificial intelligence and ethics and future. So this would be good because the artificial intelligence sort of links to the problem of consciousness thing we were speaking about as well. So that might be a good segue point into that discussion too. And ethics and futurism. Do you mean all of that in one show? Or do you mean
like separate shows? Those would be separate shows.
Yeah, just maybe seeing how they would relate. And futurism.
And we do have a brother in mind for ethics and problem of evil, stuff like that. So
yeah,
we'll be addressing that.
who are you thinking?
Our brother Saf Chowdhury.
Dr. Safruk Chowdhury.
Okay. You should link up with Mohammed Hijab and other Dawah bros to get your channel up to big audiences. Yeah, easier said than done though. It's, you know, again, these brothers are really, really busy. They're not only they're running their own channels, but like Mohammed Hijab, for example, he's doing a lot of work at Sapiens Institute. He's studying, so he's at universities. You know, it's you know, ideally this is, you know, it's nice in thought, but it's difficult to sort of.
I think also you got to understand is that our audiences are maybe slightly different to some of the other streams and the audiences that they have. So, you know, we don't really have as many, you know, raucous debates with the guests, maybe that some of the other places have. We try and keep it a little bit more chilled and talk about maybe more of the intellectual type topics. So, you know, we just need to understand that sometimes, you know, alhamdulillah, they have, you know, great exposure and audience and do great work, but they have a particular audience that they might attract. But, you know, maybe there's a different type of audience that we attract. So, yeah, so I think from our perspective, it's great having loads of people watching it. But at the same time, you know, if we don't have hundreds of thousands of subs, I don't think that necessarily would demotivate us in terms of continuing with this, because, you know, it's the quality of the engagement is what keeps us engaged in doing these types of programs, inshallah.
Yeah, and we made it quite clear as well in the first episode that in general we're going to try and keep it as I don't know, what was the way we put it, just as chilled as we can,
polite, mature, you know what I mean, not nothing, a little bit maybe needle, but not too much.
Yeah. What does tu aura mean?
I mean, that's to do with the voice, isn't it? Is the voice of the woman aura? Is it naked? No, it's not aura from an Islamic point of view, but just generally.
Jake and William Lane Craig. That'd be a...
Jake, would you do that? William Lane Craig, talk about
love
and God and Trinity.
I would love to.
Inshallah, one day. Get Jordan Peterson. so you're really asking us to make magic happen here with some of these things. Like some of these guests, man. What's he got? Like 1 million followers on Twitter. You're fighting. You're trying to scream into a hurricane and get heard with these kind of requests. Let's have a look. Favorite is the contingence argument. Alhamdulillah. Suggestions: comparativism, capitalism, socialism, Islam. Yeah, that might be a good little comparison. Like, where does Islam sit between capitalism and socialism, and in what regard? That might be interesting.
Dialectical materialism.
Yeah.
Historical evolution. I'm just talking about communism. Sorry, Karl Marx's theory. But yeah, we'll have a look at that, inshallah. Definitely.
Yusuf, where can I find your article on nihilism? So I've got two. There's one on my website, which is ponderingsoul.blog. All right, down for you.
Is that the 17,000 worded article?
No, that's the second one. So this one's my dissertation. So if you just search, if you search Yusuf Ponders nihilism on Google, it should pop up. But if you go on ponderingsoul.blog and then go to my blog section on that website, you'll find it there. And so my dissertation is on there. That's about, I think, 12,000 words. And then I found this on the web, for it should pop up block and then go to my blog. Siri thinking I'm talking to her. And then the other one that I did was on Sapiens Institute, which is sapiensinstitute.org. Institute.org. If you head over to there, you should find my article on nihilism as a poison, I think, or nihilism as a sickness. I can't remember what we titled it as in the end. But the other one will be on there. So there's two articles. The first one, the dissertation, focuses on like what nihilism is and moving on to a look at this idea of the leap of faith, and then the idea of the will to meaning And this one hasn't really got much reference to Islam in it, because I was just focusing on philosophy at the time. And then the one that I've done for Sapiens Institute, it's got more of an Islamic tint to it, so to speak, and it's much longer, and this goes through a different path to dealing with nihilism. So they're not identical by any means. They're two very different articles, but you can check them both out there, inshallah. Let's have a look. What happened? What did I do? I don't get what that was. When was that? 2:44. How long ago was that? I'll blame me, heck. We're like half an hour behind on the comments. How did this happen? How many comments are there?
I don't know. I think there was some debate that took place as well in the comments.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to go through all of these because I'm going to have to go quite soon.
I think we've done about an hour and
10 minutes.
Hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, mashallah. So I think it was only meant to be half an hour, just to thank the brothers and sisters who've been watching it, watching our shows and subscribing.
Alhamdulillah, we had a few people jump on, and we've got like 49 people now. I'll just run through these really quickly. I'm not going to check them all, see if anything pops out. Eastern philosophy might be an interesting one. If it's got a tag in it, I'm just going to skip over it. I think most of it is just conversation between people. Believe me, neck. I got to the bottom and then it's loaded another million, so I didn't even get. Right. So we're probably best just leaving it there. Don't forget, everybody, to like, share, and comment, as that really helps.
And subscribe.
And that was going to get to that one. And definitely subscribe if you haven't. Also, turn on the notifications. So next to the subscribe button, there's a bell. And if you click that bell and turn on all notifications, whenever we go live, you'll get a notification, inshallah. If you don't, then it's haphazard as to whether or not you'll actually get a notification for when we're going online. Otherwise, follow us on our social media. All of this should be in the description. I'm not 100% sure if it is, or if we've got that sorted properly. But it's pretty easy to find us. So if you just search I'll put it on the banner again. Probably better. If you just search Thought Adventure Podcast, I think on Facebook it should come up. And then on Twitter it is T_A_podcast. So if you search for that on Twitter, you'll find us there. I think we're on Instagram as well. Search Thought Adventure Podcast, it should come up. And engage with us on there. Talk about us with your friends, your family. Mention, have you heard of this podcast? It's pretty cool. Because that helps more than people realize sometimes as well. And yeah, Jazakallah khair again to everyone who's joined us and subscribed already. Alhamdulillah, we hit 1K much quicker than we thought we were going to.
Also, just really quickly,
go.
Just to remind as well the audience that Yusuf and Jake, they've got their own channel to support their channel as well.
Inshallah, yeah. So feel free to search the Muslim Metaphysician. Although metaphysician is always a really difficult word to say, let alone to spell. I'll pull that up on the
M&M's show.
Yeah, M&M.
M&M. Yeah. Although the red M&Ms are meant to be haram. You're not allowed to eat them.
I did used to be a white rapper, so it goes along with the theme.
Boom. Check that one out. So that's his channel. Again, we're going to try and get these
Brancatella
into the description, so it should be there and links available. So do check his channel out. Make sure to subscribe and support him however you can. We've all got social media. If you check our YouTube channels, you can usually find links to the other social media.
Yeah, I'm more on Facebook. But anyway.
Yeah, and we're trying to convince him to make a channel. Although it looks like he might start just kind of making more material for this one.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure. We'll see how it goes. And then with regards to me, if you just search Pondering Soul or Yusuf Ponders, you should find me easily as well on all platforms with that. But yeah, and Abdulrahman as well. He's got social media. I've managed to convince him to get onto Twitter.
Yeah, we forced him to get a Twitter.
Yeah, we had to fight him almost to get him on there. But if you go to Tap Podcast, all of our tags are in the bio there, so it should be pretty easy to find. But other than that, thank you for joining us and engaging. Wa alaikum salam to everyone who joined after we said salams and said salam and we've not returned to, as there's quite a few of you on now. But other than that, yeah, just remember feedback in the comments. We've not been able to go through all of the live chat, but if you haven't had your comments responded to, please do copy and paste them over or just write them again in the comment section when the live has concluded or now. And we'll read through them all. Like I say, we won't necessarily be able to respond to every one of them, but we will be reading them and we will be taking any feedback seriously. Obviously, so long as it is serious feedback and you're not just trolling. And but yeah, so other than that, may Allah bless you all, may Allah guide us all, and we'll see you on Sunday for our next podcast, episode 6, on the stage 2 arguments for the Kalam. So trying to argue from a necessary being to the existence of God specifically. But other than that, thank you everybody. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.